visual. Do it, Drake. All right, thanks.
Welcome back to the Second and Short podcast, where the entire playbook is open. I'm Josiah.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Hayden.
And as a reminder, for those of you who like to listen to audio only, the link for the Spotify will be in the description.
Yeah, so we're in a state of transition here on the podcast. Eli is officially...
Rest in peace.
Okay. Yeah. We wish him the best on his future endeavors. He'll be back. We'll get some episodes here or there. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, less than 2 weeks till Cristiano is back home in the Ford residence. So I'm sure we'll get him on for an episode or two. Josie reminded me as I was slacking over the last month that we need to do our live mock draft for the 2026 NFL draft coming up here in Pittsburgh. And we have to do some changes schedule-wise because some of us, if not all of us, will be in the Steel City for that draft. So we'll see. Naples made a good point. Maybe we just do that as soon as next Tuesday. In the meantime, though, we're doing a redraft. Josie, it's been a while since we had you between changing schedules to make sure we got Eli on as much as possible before he left. You and your wife were doing some things in the community.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I said that we could do a redraft of a year of your choosing, and you chose 2010.
Yeah.
And this is exciting because I made a nice little draft board for us, and really you can make the argument that every single position was strong in this year's draft with the exception of quarterback and running back, which makes this one super fun. There are a couple quarterbacks and running backs that we may see come off the board here tonight. But really, when you look at the NFL in the 2010s, it was carried off of the 2010 and 2011 draft class. So many Hall of Famers and Hall of Very Good players. I'm sure we'll do a 2011 redraft at some point, whether that's just me on TikTok or with all of us. And it's just insane. It's a loaded class, especially at some positions of high value, like the pass catchers, like the offensive and defensive line. We're going to have some fun. We also, we struggled last week, which did it this way in the past before where we tried to do it the draft order prior to that Thursday night. This year we are struggling to do that. Forget when we did the 2024 redraft, we were even having trouble finding the exact order. For simplicity's sake, we're going to do things just with the draft order that night. Instead of us having set teams like we typically do, we're also going to be just going through one by one. So there are a couple teams. I think the Seahawks are one of them. They have multiple picks. The Broncos may be another because of the Jay Cutler trade with Chicago. Hypothetically, I don't know how the draft order could go, but me and Naples, one of us could have one pick for the Seahawks and the other one of us could have the other pick. So it's kind of brings in some teamwork on this side of things. The Seahawks had a loaded draft. I'm sure we're going to hear some of the former Legion of Boom members picked here early on. But unless you guys have anything else to add, we can get started here. The Rams are on the clock.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So the Rams, going back to this draft class, they would obviously pick Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford had some moments as a Ram. In fact, his rookie year, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, took the team to the playoffs. Him and Steven Jackson were prolific on the offensive side of the ball. The best player in this draft universally was Ndamukong Suh, one of the better defensive prospects of the century, to be honest, and just insane unit coming out of Nebraska, Heisman finalist. With that said, I think even with other Hall of Famers, her future Hall of Famers on the board, the pick here is clear. It's Trent Williams. And I can say that with certainty without even looking at the Rams' offensive line because tackle, inarguably a top three position in football, argument for number one because you're protecting the quarterback. You have a chance to get one of the greatest tackles of all time. He has the longevity. He has everything. Trent Williams is the pick. He's going to St. Louis.
Future first ballot Hall of Famer.
Second pick.
With
Naples
the
is on the board.
second pick, Detroit's on the clock.
Trade back.
Oh, trade back. There's a lot of directions that this team could go. We kind of got to look at need, but also best available. Obviously, we get that, foresight of how these players turn out. I still think we're going to go Ndamukong Suh. I think he's probably, you can argue he's still like the most impactful defensive player on the board. Plays on the D-line, causes havoc. He was a big staple of that team for a long time in the 2010s. And just one of those guys that's an enforcer. Guy that's going to rally that locker room around the D-line. So we're gonna keep it going with the Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, a guy who isn't a lock for Canton, but definitely has an argument, especially when you add on his Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. I was thinking this was obviously my boy Jim Harbaugh's first season on the job. The next year he would be drafting Aldon Smith. I'm just thinking of a defensive line with Aldon Smith, Ndamukong Suh, Justin Smith. It just could get really silly, especially when you have Patrick Willis as a linebacker. The Niners aren't going to get Patrick Willis's running mate, Navarro Bowman. He probably won't be there in the second round, but great pick, Naples. So O-line, D-line for the first two picks. Josie, you are up.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I could go a whole bunch of different directions. I'm looking at this, like the roster is, there's some solid players on there. But the thing that stands out to me the most is probably pass catcher. Both of their starting wide receivers were rookies. Aurelius Ben and Mike Williams were both rookies.
And for the Bucks, right?
For the Bucks, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, for
No,
the
you're
Buccaneers. The original pick here was Gerald McCoy, which he is absolutely still in play. Gerald McCoy's a great player. He had a great career. Played all of it in Tampa?
He
No, he went
bounced
to
around.
Dallas.
Did he bounce around at
Dallas,
the end?
Carolina,
Okay.
retired for a
Last
year,
couple
went to
years.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you have, your line's okay. You have Donald Penn, who's a really good player. You still have a young Kellen Winslow. He's only 27 years old at this point. But I think that the pick is probably wide receiver. Just for fun, I was looking at the defense too. It's like, you got a good quarterback room. You had to keep Talib and Rondé Barber. Yeah, and like looking at the
Throw another
safeties,
safety in there. Yeah.
looking at the safeties that are on there, it's
Legion
like I
of
would
Boom
love to
down
take.
south.
I would
Yeah.
love to take Earl Thomas here. I think it's a little early still for that, but that just a shout out to him. I think that the pick here. I mean, there's a couple wide receivers in this draft who are really good, but like we're talking about Antonio Brown. Like it's Antonio Brown. Like yeah, you could throw out Dez. Yeah, you could throw out DT, Demaryius Thomas, but like. The conversation of best receiver in this draft starts and ends with Antonio Brown.
There are a ton of great wide receivers in this draft class. In fact, all of the ones that I sent to you guys, I think should go in the first round, no question.
Yeah.
With that said, Antonio Brown's the only guy who might wind up in Canton.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, it's because of personal.
Right. It's
So-
not, it has nothing to do with his career, the reason why I don't think he's going to end up in Canton. So. But yeah, I think it's, I mean, you're getting a rookie anyway as your wide receiver one, so why not make it the best one in the draft class? So.
Number 4, let me know the team.
It's the Redskins.
And
it
it's
is
almost
the
like I
Redskins.
set you up for that.
No, I love it.
Yeah, it's like that was planned, but not really.
Yeah.
While I filibuster here, Eli was on the phone with me yesterday, and he asked me what we were going to do. And he mentioned Earl Thomas by name, and he said, I know it's a safety, but I would be very tempted to pick him very early. So with that said, I think we have 3 guys that, if it were up to me, would wind up in Canton. This one's fun. So Mike Shanahan's the head coach at this point. Kyle Shanahan's the offensive coordinator. So the 2 men responsible for over 50% of today's run game, it makes me want to go somewhere on the offensive side of the football. Obviously, in a couple of years, you would get RG3 or Kirk Cousins or Peyton Manning, if you guys have been paying attention to that story that came out. Looking at the offensive line, you don't have Trent Williams anymore, so there's a huge gap there. Technically, Sam Bradford, I know it's not a sexy name, but the quarterback value is there. We're not going to go there. I could feel Naples starting to breathe down my neck there. I could feel some fire coming out of that breath. But Bradford's one. Like, it's not sexy, but the quarterback value. Looking at it here, I think that you have to go back to the offensive line. And it feels early for this position, but Marquise Pouncey in a Shanahan offense feels crazy. And that seems insane, a center going 4th overall That's something that would never happen. But you have Pouncey. You have a guy who I think winds up in Canton one day, known for his athleticism. Him in a zone blocking scheme with Kyle and Mike Shanahan. That's too good to pass up.
No.
So-
And he's the second best lineman in the draft. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
It is. It is. I mean,
Who else?
I like Mike Upati.
Not better than Pouncey.
I would say Russell Okung's better than Mikey Potty.
Think so? Just
I
because
mean,
Mike
Russell-
Upati plays guard?
Okung was what I was thinking because of positional value, but Pouncey in that offense, I think that you reach for the position
Yeah.
knowing that you're getting a crazy player, similar to what the Raiders did with Linderbaum.
No Zane Beetle or anybody? No?
Listen, he made a couple Pro Bowls.
He did?
Not
He
bad.
did? So I'm sorry, you're going Pouncey, right?
I am going Marquise Pouncey with the 4th overall pick.
Was Mike in this draft too? Or is he
No,
the
Mike was
following?
2011. They're twins, but Mike came out a year later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
The Chiefs. There's
Todd Haley has a head coach.
Man, I think this one's honestly not that difficult. I think there's a lot of people on the board that like are good fits or might even be better than who I'm about to take here. But I think knowing what we know in the Chiefs' future, eventually getting Travis Kelce, like I don't think going tight end here is the move because of what we know. I think Brandon Graham is a great pick for them.
Really?
Someone who what's he going on? How many years did he play? Like 15, 16.
I
Like
think
you're
it's 14, but he's
Yeah.
potentially coming back or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
like you get a staple on the D line, someone who's going to give you production every year. He's like never hurt. Like just a staple of the O line. Like I said, he might not be the best available, but I think he's going to fit them really well. He's going to add to a pass rush. Maybe even is the difference maker in some of those playoff runs with the Alex Smith era.
So,
Interesting. And the edge rusher is a good position in this draft class. Brandon Graham's the first off the board. Josie?
yeah, so I mean, this original pick on the next one, this was the Seahawks. Their original pick here was Russell Okung, which again is not a bad pick by any means here. But I think if this player's on the board, you run and you absolutely slam the card down on the table. I mean, I'm thinking back through the Seahawks. It's like they've had patchwork tight ends over the last 15 years, but they've never had a franchise Hall of Fame tight end. I'm running to the podium with Gronk's name. And, like, looking through...
Gronk and Pete Carroll would be a fun duo.
Dude, like, looking through, like, their pass catchers this year, Deion Butler, Mike Williams, Chris Baker, John Carlson. It's no wonder that Matt Hasselbeck had a fallback year where he only had 3,000 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, and 17 picks. Because look at who's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
He had Marshawn Lynch. He had, I mean, they wouldn't have Russell Okung anymore, but it's like they had nobody for him to throw the ball to.
No.
Why not go out and get Rob Gronkowski? Yeah. Even if you don't think he's the greatest tight end of all time, he's the most dominating physically tight end of all time. Yeah, and he's the most dominating physical tight end of all time. Probably the greatest blocking tight end, a huge receiving threat. Like, again, it's not even, I don't even need to be saying all of this. You guys all know this. Like, it's Gronk.
Yeah, and once again, a Hall of Famer. So, and Josie, you were talking about him as maybe the first overall pick for the Rams. It is crazy, and once again, I agree. I don't like it's honestly kind of crazy. Gronk lasted as long as he did. It is still insane that how well Seattle drafted with John Schneider and Pete Carroll. That this draft, and it speaks to how good of a draft class this was, where they had 3 hits. All 3 would end up leading to their first Lombardi. And the draft class is so good with all 3 of them on the board, you're like, yeah, we'll go in another direction, at least with the first pick. So,
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, and what's the next team?
Next team is Browns.
The Brownies.
Browns.
So,
The Browns.
whenever we
Go get us a guy.
when we typically would give assigned teams, I typically try to give the Browns to Naples because I know that's who he's going to want. I have the chance to pick for them. Who is the original pick here?
The original pick for the Browns was Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden. And so that's a fine pick. Definitely better than their second rounder, which would end up being Colt McCoy. And scouts saying hello to everybody.
Go get us a guy.
You know, looking at it, if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. I'm going Joe Hayden again.
I wish he would have never left Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where he left Cleveland in the preseason, goes to Pittsburgh, and has multiple Pro Bowl caliber seasons. Pittsburgh's last lockdown corner, it's been him and Ike Taylor of the 21st century. That is it. So Joe Hayden, he goes back to Cleveland. Who knows? Maybe he finishes his career there this time around.
Yeah. And a team that is known for not having secondary at all in the Raiders, we are going to address some needs in the back end of that defense. And honestly, like, there's a lot of good safeties,
dude.
but I think Earl Thomas is going to be the pick here. Someone who can just go be a ball hawk in the back end of the secondary.
He signed his brother too.
Huh?
Signed his brother too.
No.
He said no.
Just Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas staying in the Pacific Northwest. Who knows? Maybe Charles Woodson comes back after a few years too. Those two together would be scary.
Oh yeah. Next pick on there is Bills. Their original pick was CJ Spiller. Obviously, I'm not going to CJ Spiller.
What?
Listen, if he wouldn't have been a first round pick, maybe we would have looked at him a little bit differently. It's CJ. Like, come on.
You're going Chris Ivory, right?
No, absolutely
The
not.
Garrett Blunt.
Yeah. So at this point,
Go get him a guy.
you have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Fred Jackson in your backfield. You have Lee Evans and Stevie Johnson on the outside.
Stevie.
You've got some skill position players here. So the pick is not skill position.
Could be.
The line could use some work. Offensive line. I would love to take somebody in the secondary here, but they have Dante Whitner and Jarrisburg, who are 24 and 25.
Yeah, that's.
They have Leotis McKelvin, who's only 25, who again, he has
Solid.
his moments. He has
Solid,
his moments,
yeah.
yeah. I do think edge is a really big need. According to this, they played a 3-4 at the time, which I did not realize because I think they play a 4-3 now, or they did under Sean.
Yeah.
They did under Sean.
McDermott.
McDermott, thank you. They played a 4-3. They are playing currently a 3-4, and they have Paul Posluszny at middle linebacker. So, like, I would probably
Pair
look at
him up
Nick-
with Sean Lee?
Ooh.
The Penn Staters?
I'm thinking edge.
Eli just came in his pants all the way in South Carolina thinking of that.
You do have a young Kyle Williams as well. Kyle Williams is only 27, so you're good at like nose tackle. I think edge is probably the move here, whether it's an outside linebacker or a DN. I mean, looking at the guy, I mean, JPP was technically listed as an outside linebacker.
I'm looking at it. I think really all those guys, other than Everson Griffin and Hardy, could be 4-3 D end or 3-4 backer. I think Griffin and Hardy are the only two that it's a little bit of a reach. Because JPP started off as a 4-3 end. In Tampa, he was a 3-4 backer.
Yeah. And man, Carlos Dunlap played interior. He played like D tackle. He wasn't it him
Atkins, you're
and
thinking Atkins.
Atkins and Dunlap both did, I thought.
Dunlap was always outside. They had Pecco inside.
The only top back though. You're right, yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna let the hand injury, non-football related, deter me from taking JPP. JPP
That is a
had
canon event. It will happen again.
JPP had a really good career. He did. He won.
He still wants to come back.
Yeah, he
Him
won.
and Odell are trying to get back
Go
with
back
New
to
York.
his time.
He won one Super Bowl. in New
Yep,
York?
2011.
Yeah, so
2011.
he won a Super Bowl. He had a pretty
Two.
good.
He had the
Was he
Tampa one
both?
too. He has
Oh,
the Tampa
Tampa
one
one.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he had a good career. I'm not gonna let the perspective of him blowing half of his hand off deter me from taking a really good player here. So Bill's taking JPP again. Can play. I think he's actually listed as a linebacker. Like I said earlier, he can play 4-3. He can play 3-4. Whatever you need him to. I think it's a good pick there.
And I think in terms of career statistics, obviously JPP, I think he's the only one who's still active or trying to be active. Obviously, Brandon Graham's doing this like half-retired act. I think JPP was second out of that group in sacks. I think Dunlap is 1 and he's 2 with a few other guys cradling in right underneath them. So great pick. JPP and that iconic face mask.
Yep.
I
Him and
remember.
Justin Tuck. Those face masks were sick.
All right, next up, because Hayden's slacking and doesn't have the pick order up.
Next pick on there.
Oh,
Jacksonville. They took Tyson Alualu.
All right, I'm sort of a Jaguars fan. My boy Chris working down in Duval County. So Jacksonville would end up getting a quarterback next year. And I know it's not the sexy pick, and I'm not going to do that pick here either. But Bradford has to be in play. In fact, I'm not convinced Bradford goes in this redraft. With that said, and I'm not going to probably be the one to pick him, he should 100% be picked in this redraft. With that said, I'm not so sure any of the three of us are going to pull the plug on him.
Yeah.
So I can't criticize too hard because
Well, the farther we get down, the less teams need a quarterback. So,
Exactly.
like, if he wasn't going to go in the top 10, it's going to be hard to find a landing spot for him.
unless, and correct me if I'm wrong. In fact, so Denver, the way we're doing it, do they still have a second pick? Because Sam
Yeah.
Bradford with Josh McDaniel,
he could.
that
he
might
could
end up
definitely be
being the
landing
spot.
They pick after the Bengals
So.
later.
And so the Bengals, you could make the argument too, Carson Palmer, because Palmer would be traded the next year and they would draft Dalton. Once again, I'm not in any rush to pull that plug, but I think objectively he should be. Jacksonville, this was not a very good team. You have Maurice Jones-Drew. That's it. Our boy Mercedes Lewis had a killer year, though. 58 catches, 700 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Give me some, Naples. Mercedes Lewis.
Career. He
Mercedes
he
Lewis.
doubled his stats.
That's a career year
Big
for a
Mad
majority
Dog.
of tight ends. That is pretty good. All right, I digress. So looking here, this is kind of nice, and I think Naples, you can remind me. I think I said this a lot for the 2023. The team is so bad, you could go in multiple directions. Like I said, they do have Maurice Jones-Drew, and this was like peak Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
Dominant.
So going offensive lineman would kind of be fun. You could go Russell Okung.
Go get him a guy.
I don't know who you're referring to every
Go
time
get
you
him
say
a
that.
guy.
But I'm gonna go Jimmy Graham. Just kidding.
Jimmy Graham. That's a guy.
That would be an exciting tight end room. But we're gonna go out and get Gerald McCoy. I think there are some sexier
I was hoping
names.
he was going to last a little longer.
There are some sexier names, but from the positional value standpoint, Gerald McCoy is somebody. He's not going to wind up in Canton, but he should be a lock for the Hall of Very Good. It's a shame. I always hate when a player who's with a team for a super long amount of time leaves right before that team has immense success. And he left literally a year, 2 years before Tom Brady came to Tampa. So, Gerald McCoy, you're staying in Florida, so no state income tax. Chris, let us know in the comments if you like that pick.
I like it. 49ers. The original pick here was...
We're sticking with it, Navarro Bowman.
Well, it was Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I mean, same guy, same team. We're
Yeah.
sticking with Navarro Bowman going back to the Niners. And just the eventual pairing that we get with him and Patrick Willis was really fun. I mean, they made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, love it.
Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, Alden,
Chris Borland?
maybe Chris Borland, Alden Smith, Justin Smith, and Ndamukong Suh. And Anthony Davis was a good pick, but that defense is scary. Jim Harbaugh's going to get a Super Bowl this time around.
All right, next pick on there is the Chargers. The original pick here was Ryan Matthews. That is not happening.
Go get a guy.
Listen, Ryan Matthews made a Pro Bowl too.
So here's the thing: you
Go
have
get Phillip
you
a guy.
have Philip Rivers,
Get him a guy.
29-year-old Philip Rivers. So we
Are
only
you
has
referring
six,
to Hernandez? Is that who?
No.
So he
Okay.
he only has 6 kids because he's 29. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Hernandez and Antonio Gates, though?
You have Antonio Gates. You have Malcolm Floyd. You have Legit Unani as your other wide receiver. So
Sure.
wide receiver could
Is Vincent Jackson still there?
not according to this
Okay.
now. Your line could definitely use some work. Offensive line is absolutely in play here. I was originally going to take Gerald McCoy here if he was available. Obviously, he's not, so that's off the table. Looking at the secondary, you have 31-year-old Quentin Jemmer, and then you have Antoine Cason as your other corner. So corner could be in play. I'm not sure that I'm in love with any of the corners there. I think that what I'm going to do is I have a 25-year-old Eric Weddle at my free safety, and I would love to take Bam Bam Cam and pair him up with Eric Weddle in that secondary.
It's
I'm
not the
thinking-
direction I thought you were going.
I'm going Cam Chancellor.
didn't go get a guy.
I thought you were gonna go the cancer survivor there for a second.
Yeah, but
Hey,
he played more. He played more. I don't know. I love the hitting style of Cam
Yeah.
Chancellor. I love his testing ability. I love that he was 6'3".
He hit so hard his career ended. His neck is all
But
jacked
he's
up.
also tough. Do you ever see that picture of the frostbite he had at a
Yeah.
Minnesota playoff game, dude? Like,
That was the Blair Walsh game.
Yeah.
The Vikings should have won that.
Oh,
I love everything about Cam Chancellor, and I love that he's opposite a 25-year-old Eric Whittle.
I will say there are two defensive backs here where there's a little bit of versatility. Devin McCourty was drafted as a cornerback originally for the Patriots. Belichick moved him after a year. And then same thing, Kareem Jackson was a corner at the start of his career with Houston. He would switch over to be a safety for Denver and Buffalo. So that offers some flexibility for you guys here as we get later on. Josie, what pick number and then what team do we have?
It is the Eagles picking at 13. The original pick was Brandon Graham. He is off the board, right? Yes, he went to the Chiefs.
Yep. He went earlier on. Josie, I forgot to say anything. That's fine if you're not. Are you tracking these picks?
I am. Yep, I have everything written
I
down.
love you so much. It's like,
Sir,
it's like,
I just knew, you know?
yeah, you know me so well.
We all have our roles, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Looking here,
Speaking of vitamin,
Something like that.
yeah, some
Percocets.
vitamins. The offense was killer this year. This was the Mike Vick rejuvenation year. They actually made the playoffs. He had arguably the best season of his career. You have Macklin, you have Shady, you have D-Jax, you have Brent Selleck. The offense is humming. So do you want to build off that offense? The offensive line's not bad, especially on the left side. Todd Harriman's longtime guard for them, and Jason Peters, future Hall of Famer. Do we want to make the offensive line even stronger?
go
I
get a
sort
guy.
of do.
Go
Shut
get a
up.
guy.
You just get him next pick.
Dude, I'm getting a guy next pick. We're getting a guy.
You could have had a guy multiple picks ago, considering you've been
This
saying
team
that.
Fit, though.
Sean Lee sticking in Pennsylvania would be cool. With that said, there's so much value here.
Pass rusher.
I'm between an offensive line because that's what has gotten the Eagles their Super Bowls, and then I'm tempted to give Andy Reid Travis Kelce before Travis Kelce. It's not apples to apples, but Jimmy Graham with Andy Reid. I know Brent Selleck's there. Screw it. You do two tight ends. Like you have two great tight ends like that. I feel like Jimmy Graham has a legit case for the Hall of Fame, and I feel like people don't realize that. But when you look at his numbers, similar to Gronk, I feel like we can't pass up anymore. Aaron Hernandez, it's funny. Aaron Hernandez's style actually is kind of comparable to Travis Kelce's, but Jimmy Graham on the board, you also don't have to worry about him murdering somebody in Connecticut. Philadelphia is a little bit too close to that Boston, New England region. We're going to go Jimmy Graham, which is not what I expected, but I think that you have a fringe Hall of Famer there who can just do freaky things. And he doesn't have to be rushed in. People forget his Saints career didn't start really until his second season because they had Jeremy Shockey. So, all right, Naples, get your guy.
We're gonna get a guy, since we've already very generously added to the offense in Seattle earlier in this draft. We're gonna very generously continue to add to the offense in this draft, and we're gonna go get Dez. Put up the X. Weapons.
Dez and Gronk.
Dez and Gronk.
And then
And
Beast
Lynch.
Mode.
We are getting guys.
This
We
is-
are building a super team.
Wow.
I can't actually really complain. I mean,
Big three.
Matt
That's
Hasselbeck
insane.
might look like
Big
an
four.
MVP next year.
Hasselbeck's still going to play into his 40s, except for he's going to be putting up Tom Brady
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah,
Imagine.
wow.
And who's the other? Who do they have there at receiver right now?
Deion Branch there.
Deion Butler and Mike Williams.
I don't even know who Deion
Yeah.
Butler is.
Getting a true number one out there.
That's insane. Dez, Gronk, and Beast Mode. That might be like the most OP red zone offense of all time.
And who's there? Going
You
back.
need
in
to draft
time,
like Tim Tebow in the second now. Put Tebow in the red zone.
See, recreate
Pop
the
pass.
recreate the.
See, Like, this is a
The
time
team
when
in
Seattle
Florida.
didn't have a real X receiver, and you
Yeah.
can make the argument that they never did, like maybe Sidney Rice, but like
Yeah, not
he didn't have
not
an
during the
X.
Legion of Boom era, because
you have
Doug Baldwin
Yeah,
emerged
regardless.
into that,
Yeah.
but
But
Baldwin,
he wasn't. He was more of a slot guy. Like his build. I mean, his build, like
Yeah.
an ex build wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like they drafted DK. They have JSN. Like even JSN's body's not necessarily
he's
an
more of a
X.
slot.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't draft. They Tyler Lockett. Like they don't
that's
draft
true,
X
their
wide
best
receivers.
wide receiver. Well, would you say DK's
I
an
said
X or
I
a
said
Z?
DK's an X.
He's an X, but he's limited in what he can do.
Yeah,
as
I
an
was
X.
which is why I said maybe more of a Z.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all right, Naples, I can't. That's my favorite pick. When you look at Josie already getting them Gronk, that's insane.
Yeah.
And by the way, similar to Sam Bradford, Hernandez being drafted, that's not a troll.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
when you look at his trajectory, we actually joked around. I forget if we did it on air or not. The last redraft we did, Eli was mentioning the 2010 draft, and he's like, "Let's save some lives." Like what, like controversial figure.
Who can we get
So
in a
like,
new spot?
if we can get Aaron Hernandez into like a no middle of nowhere kind of place, like a Green Bay,
Yeah.
I don't know. And Green Bay still has a pick left, so
Let's bring him to Miami.
no.
bring him
You see, and there are places where it would make it worse. But that's just expediting everything that happened in 2013.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next is the Giants. So
JPP was the OG.
JP. No.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yes, it was JPP.
Okay.
You're right. I'm sorry, I was reading it wrong. So all right. So JPP is obviously off the board. You have Eli Manning, Ahmad Bradshaw, and then you have a 24-year-old Mario Manningham and a 22-year-old Hakeem Nicks. Not necessarily A tier wide receivers,
Yeah.
but also very good.
Yeah, not bad.
This season, Manningham had 944 yards and Hakeem Nicks had 1,052. That's very serviceable. For
With
you
that
guys.
said, Victor Cruz had 1,500 the next year and helped them win a Super Bowl.
He did. You look at the edges, you don't have the interior of the defensive line that you used to, but you still have Justin Tuck and Osi Umenyiora still on your roster.
And they would end up drafting Linville Joseph
Yeah.
later on,
Uh-huh.
and he's available right
Yeah.
now.
Your corner and your safety room is only okay. You have Antero Roll.
Love that guy.
Yeah, very good player. Honestly, the weakness of this team, in my opinion, is their off-ball linebackers. You have Keith Bullock, who's solid. He's a solid player. You have Jonathan Goff and Michael Boley.
Yikes.
And Sean Lee's still on the board. So keep him in division and take Sean Lee.
Yeah.
Maybe you can keep him healthier than the Cowboys were able to.
Yeah, when he was healthy, he was one of the first sideline to sideline linebackers we had.
Great in pass coverage. So yeah,
Yeah,
give me
don't hate
Sean
it.
Lee.
Yeah.
Next pick is the Tennessee Titans. The original pick was Derek Morgan, a DN out of Georgia Tech.
And he wasn't a bad pick, but when you look at the other defensive linemen, especially the edge, clearly not the direction we're going to go. Geno Atkins is still on the board. That's interesting, especially when you realize the next year they would draft Jarrell Casey. Geno Atkins and Jarrell Casey would be the best two interior defensive linemen. By the way, I realized I didn't put first name for some guys. I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to figure out most of them. The off-ball linebacker, though, is Daryl Washington, the talented guy from Arizona. He was always in trouble.
I believe he found his way to Cleveland at some point.
Darnell.
Yeah.
Darnell
I
Washington.
think he got in trouble with roids all the time, and that's why he was always suspended. I forget.
Browns legend.
This was Vince Young's last year in Tennessee, I do believe. Chris Johnson was still in his peak. The offensive line's incredible, which is kind of refreshing to see. You still have Jason Babin on the defensive line, and then there are some pieces sprinkled out throughout the defense. You have Chris Hope and Michael Griffin, Cortland Finnegan. They would draft Altron Werner, who's still available. You have Stephen Tulloch. Lots of options. A wide receiver stands out. You have Kenny Britt, who had an okay year. He was the first round pick in 2009 that never fully panned out. Nate Washington, some talent. Their tight ends were rough. You have Bo Scaife and Craig Stevens. We're not going to go Hernandez here. Like I said, he's not included as a troll. I think that there is a legit spot for him. With that said, we have Demaryius Thomas, who's still on the board. He's another guy. And AB, like I said, is the only wide receiver who has a chance to wind up in Canton. But I think every other wide receiver listed here, other than Brandon LaFell, in the Hall of Very Good, Demarius Thomas had perennial 100 catch, 1,200 yard seasons. He did that with Peyton Manning, but also he was able to do that with Tim Tebow throwing him the ball. Who knows? Maybe Vince Young can work out this time. If not, maybe Jake Locker pans out in 2011 this time. So DT's the pick.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers are up next. And since we didn't go offensive line,
Did the Niners have 3 picks this year? Ndamukong Suh, Navarro Bowman, and
just seeing 2.
no, Sue was
She was
back to the Lions.
oh,
Same,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Since we didn't go offensive line earlier and we went Navarro Bowman, I think it's only right that we go back and get an offensive lineman because they drafted 2 of them in this draft class because they needed to retool that O-line for Alex Smith and Frank Gore and the boys. So we'll go ahead and we'll take Mike Iupati and just beef up the O-line, get him next to a 26-year-old Joe Staley. And that'll be that as we continue to rebuild the Niners exactly how they drafted.
Keep it simple.
They drafted good players. They made a Super Bowl like not too far after.
Perennial NFC Championship team.
Yeah.
All right. So next pick is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Glad I got them, but also at the same time, I'm gonna try to be as impartial as possible. The defense needs absolutely nothing. So I
But
mean,
do you build off of that strength and keep it going?
listen. You've got the weakness of this entire name thing here is
Sam Bradford can go
Evander
here.
Hood at lefty end. You've got Casey Hampton, Brett Kiesel, Lamar Woodley, James Ferrier, Lawrence Timmons, James Harrison, B-Mac, Ike Taylor, Troy Palmo.
They have Ziggy
Troy
Hood
Palmer.
listed. Aaron Smith was still a Steeler this year.
Yeah.
He must have been hurt a lot.
Yeah,
but-
and Ziggy Hood's only 23 at this point.
Yeah, he was 2009. So.
Looking at the offense, there's some opportunity at the line. The biggest one is Marquise Pouncey's already off the board. This was your first round pick here. Hayden had to go ahead and ruin that for them as
Dude, I
the
picked
next.
him
He
like
would've been
third
gone with the next-
overall.
he would have been gone with the next pick regardless. You have Mike Wallace and Hines Ward as your starting wide receivers. You have Rashard Mendenhall. Say what you want about it. He's still there. You got Big Ben.
He was
You
on
got Hines-
1,000-yard rusher this
Hey, you
year,
can go
too.
get
You got Hines
Rashawn
Ward.
Matthews.
So here's- I'm going to focus on the line. So there's a couple different options here. I could take a guard who could potentially play center, or I have a 35-year-old Flozell Adams starting at right tackle,
And he would retire after this year.
and he would retire after this year. So Okum, you could go Bulaga here.
You need another wide receiver. though.
Villanueva.
Hines Ward only has 1 more year, and you don't have AB anymore.
I'm gonna go line. I'm going line.
Villanueva?
I'm sticking. Not Villanueva. Not in the first round.
Villanueva.
He was garbage outside of Pittsburgh. Terrible.
Yeah,
Villanueva.
but just bring him to Pittsburgh before he goes on tour.
Exactly.
Before he enlists.
Maybe getting drafted in the first round is what he needed to boost that confidence, get him nice and right.
If you're going tackle here, there's a clear guy.
Here's the thing. I don't
Yeah,
think
Anthony
that.
No.
Davis.
I don't know.
Obviously.
Did anybody take Okung?
No, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah,
It's a
okay.
clear.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
a clear tackle.
I didn't realize anybody hadn't taken Okung yet. Honestly, I was at the point where I was about to say I don't know that any of these guys are the value pick here, and I might actually go in a different direction. But yeah, Russell Okung. I think that your left tackle right now is Jonathan Scott, and so I think that as somebody who watched the Steelers religiously, like I can't remember a whole bunch of plays where they even said his name. So like you could put Russell Okung at his original left tackle spot and not have to worry about it.
Yeah,
So-
Flozell Adams was very good this year.
Mhm.
He was actually a long-time Cowboy. He signed over for 1 year with the Steelers. And if you remember, what can the Steelers do to win the Super Bowl this time around against Green Bay? Because they were close to it. You have a couple of Ben turnovers that kind of set them behind, and then you have the Mendenhall fumble late. But also, the Packers' defense was on one. Nate Collins had a pick six. Clay Matthews was unblockable, both in the run and the pass game. Russell Okung might help that out.
Yep, love it.
All right, what pick number and team are we at?
We are. Sorry, I was looking something up. Atlanta Falcons pick 19. They took Sean Witherspoon, a linebacker out of Mizzou.
All right. Well, I pulled that up, Josie. Do you want to look at what direction you would have gone if Okung wasn't there? Would you have turned to the wide receiver for the future?
I think so. more than likely. I mean, you've got
Do you stick with Sanders there, or do you go in a different direction? Sanders obviously didn't get along with Bennett.
yeah. I mean, I think that based on who you already have, like, I mean, if you're letting Mike Wallace, I mean, I guess if you didn't have AB, you would not let Mike Wallace walk. So you still have your speed burner. You're hoping that Emmanuel Sanders is available later on because hopefully he doesn't go in the first round. I'd probably want to go Victor Cruz here, to be honest with you. I think, yeah.
Maybe he stays healthy this time around.
Yeah. I mean, you could also say what you want. You could go Hernandez and spin him out wide. So,
Yeah. So the Falcons were on a tear offensively, and this is before Julio Jones even got there. In fact, the next year they would trade up with Cleveland, I believe, to draft Julio.
That's correct.
You have Michael Turner there. You have Roddy White, Roddy White put up a stat line this year. Roddy White had 115 catches for almost 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. So Roddy White was awesome. Tony Gonzalez is there. Tony G and Aaron Hernandez. You could go offensive line. I think that all the offensive linemen listed are fine. Anthony Davis would probably be the pick. We're not going to go there. There are two. I think that the two best players available right now are probably Eric Berry or Geno Atkins. And the Falcons secondary honestly is not that bad. You have Dunta Robinson, who was a longtime starter. Brent Grimes, who's somebody who I would classify as Hall of Very Good. And then you have William Moore and Thomas DeCowd as the safety. So it's nothing spectacular, but it's above average. You look at the defensive line, you have John Abraham, and that's it. And John Abraham was a sack artist. If you get him some help in the inside, Geno Atkins, a guy who, at his peak, I think Geno Atkins was just as good as Ndamukong Suh or Gerald McCoy. I'm going to go Geno Atkins here.
Texans, the original pick here. Wait. Yes, it was Kareem Jackson, corner of Alabama.
We
Who
might
ended up playing safety at some point in his career. if I remember.
Yeah, he switched over later on in his career with Denver and
Right.
then
Yeah, which is crazy because on this 2010s Texans team they have Glover Quinn playing cornerback as well, who also transitioned to safety
Glover Quinn was a cornerback at one point.
on the 2010 Texans.
Interesting.
So they've got Glover Quinn. I think he only played one. This was his second year. In 2010, he was drafted the previous year. He had 3 interceptions. They paired Kareem Jackson with him. They have Bernard Pollard in the secondary. They have Brian Cushing. Still have Mario Williams at this point.
Defense.
I was hoping to get Geno Atkins here to put on that D-line to pair with Mario Williams. But since he just got picked, this is definitely a pivot spot. I think we either might go Eric Berry to just pair him with Bernard Pollard. They've got and play him at free safety. They have Eugene Wilson, who I'm not familiar with his game. 30-year-old safety, though. I think it's probably time for him to go. Or we might try to get Matt Schaub another weapon. I was thinking about maybe Sam Bradford here, but honestly, like,
Schaub still was throwing for like 4K.
He threw for, in 2010, he threw for 4,300 yards, 24-12, like, not terrible. This was Arian Foster's 1,616 year. So, like, they did a lot on the ground. So I don't know if, like, going receiver's the move necessarily, even though they had no one outside Andre Johnson. But yeah, so we'll go Eric Berry. We'll just get another defensive piece. Since we're gonna keep another secondary, we're not gonna go Kareem Jackson, but we'll go another secondary piece here.
Best player available. Never a bad way to go.
Eric Berry, correct? Just to
Yeah.
confirm. All right, sounds good. All right, Bengals, next pick. Original pick here was Jermaine Gresham. Certainly not a terrible pick by any means.
It's not a bad pick. He was a good tight end, but when Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski, and Jimmy Graham were picked rounds later, that's a bad pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah,
That's a fair point.
I
That's a fair
agree
point.
overall. Like, I like Gresham, but
Yeah.
the fact that you had 3 historic tight ends picked
Alright.
day 2.
All right, so looking at their roster, Carson Palmer at quarterback, you're going with that, right? You got Chad Johnson and T.O. at wide receiver. T.O.'s 37, Chad Johnson's 32. So, like, neither one of them is a long-term solution. But they're not necessarily. And there's still players that you can get later on, maybe in, like, round 2. Again, you don't have a tight end right now because there's no Gresham. But, again, I don't know that any of the guys are... I don't think I'm taking Hernandez here, especially in a period where the Bengals, as a Steelers fan, the Bengals already have a lot of criminals on their team. So, like, I'm not going to do that.
Since he's kind of ghetto.
Stay the
can say it.
theme. Stay the theme.
So here's the thing. My left tackle spot, obviously knowing what I know, I am extending Andrew Whitworth. Okay? So I'm the GM here, obviously. Not going to be stupid. I'm extending Andrew Whitworth. It's not even a question. The rest of the line is terrible. You've got Nate Livings, Kyle Cook, Bobby Williams, and Dennis Rowland. Looking at their ages, my right guard, Bobby Williams, is 34. I think guard is absolutely in play here. You're late enough in the round that it's not going to be a reach to get a guard here. Saffold is probably the best guard on the board, if I had to say. I mean, you've got Bulaga, who's a really good player, but he's a tackle, obviously. You've got...
Saffold's the best guard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, absolutely. In your secondary, you've got Jonathan Joseph, Leon Hall. Your safeties, absolutely, you could use a safety, and there's still a lot of safeties on the board.
Devin McCourty, a guy who has pretty loaded resume. T.J. Ward's still there if you want to stay in division.
Rashad Jones was a good player for the first couple of years of his career, but I'm going to go with, listen, I know he's part of a system. The Patriots system was always really good. I think McCourty is a really solid pick here. You get the versatility of going corner and safety. Pretty long career. Solid player. Good character.
Might have been
his
brother.
And again, as a Steelers fan, I'm going to say this: like, you need guys with high character, and I think Devin McCourty. This is Devin, or is this
Yeah,
Jason?
it's Devin.
It's Devin. Yeah. I think Devin McCourty is a high character player.
I think he's one of the more underrated players of the second half of the Pats dynasty. I would put my neck out for him to have a spot in Canton, possibly. I think that him and Harrison Smith weren't the flashiest players, but I think both guys in this generation, two of the better safeties. So
You want to hear something crazy, dude?
yeah,
Their entire team this year had
the Bengals
6.5, 7, 8, 9 sacks as a team.
and you
three
passed
of
with
those
Dunlap still on the
And
board.
those three, I'm
The
regretting-
Bengals'
I'm regretting
all-time
it.
leading sack artist
Can
was on
I
the board.
switch my answer?
No.
You
dude?
can taunt your
You've
I'm
already
sorry.
submitted the card.
I'm gonna
The
switch my
Broncos
answer.
are on the clock.
Dude,
buddy.
their entire team. 3 of those 9 sacks came from the secondary, dude. Like, I'm
Yikes.
sorry. I'm taking Carlos
That's
Dunlap.
What's
After
worse,
I'm just talking up all of that Devin McCourty.
Devin McCourty's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
You have a chance to bring back the Bengals' all-time leading sack
Yeah,
artist.
I'm
So-
not. As soon as I saw that sack, list, I'm like, their leading sacker on the team was their right D tackle Pat Sims and Michael Johnson on right D end.
Michael Johnson
had a
was
couple
solid.
good years.
Yeah.
He did.
Inconsistent, but
But
solid.
dude, 2.5 sacks is your team lead.
Yeah.
What's more pathetic, that or the Jets finishing with what, 1 interception with a defensive-minded head coach?
They had none.
It was none.
It was 0.
Did they end the season with none?
Yes, none.
It was 0 or 1. I
It was
forget.
0.
That's tough.
That's pathetic.
They
That
did not
is
intercept
extremely
one pass all year.
Jeez.
So Denver's on the board.
Yes, Denver.
Okay. So Tim Tebow was the pick here, I think. Bradford, this is where Bradford makes sense. Especially, I think Bradford's skill set actually kind of aligns with Josh McDaniels. You still have tons of receivers left. Victor Cruz is still there, correct?
Victor.
You have
Tate.
Golden Tate's one of my favorite players
Emmanuel
of all time.
Sanders.
Sanders and Decker both had success in Denver.
Yeah, I was going to say both ended up in Denver.
We're talking about a place where Aaron Hernandez might actually be successful. Denver's enough in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially, you have Hernandez working the slot. Guess what? That's what Josh McDaniels looks for.
Sounds like you want to do it, man. Pull the trigger.
We're going Aaron Hernandez. And once again, I don't think that that's
Yeah.
a troll. Like, you look at what Josh McDaniels and the Patriots. Did they have overlap? I don't. Josh McDaniels was with the Rams in 2012. So actually, I think funny enough, McDaniels and Hernandez did not overlap, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But Hernandez fits exactly what you want to do in that McDaniels offense. So
It is
Three
crazy
tight
that
ends.
anytime you bring up Aaron Hernandez's name in like a positive light from a football perspective, you always have to justify it, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
because
it's like,
I mean, even our
he was-
podcast, the first time he was brought up, it was a troll. It was that
Yeah.
Christmas game that we were
like he
playing.
was
Like
he was tight end 1A. Or sorry, he was tight end 1B.
he was 1A. I would argue he was ahead of Gronk.
Yeah. So like,
Have you heard the Julian Edelman clip? I think it's Bert Kreischer or whatever.
Mhm.
He's on there. He asked Julian, like, without Hernandez being arrested, is there Gronk? And Edelman's like, no, there's still Gronk. There's not a me because Julian Edelman became the slot guy. There was nobody else.
Yeah.
Welker was gone. Amendola was hurt. And so Hernandez to Denver. And I think Denver, Green Bay, those might be the only two spots that are isolated enough and not close to a major metropolitan area where Hernandez might be able to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
It's further away from the East Coast because Buffalo's in the middle of nowhere. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, sure, but I think all three of those are close enough to that Connecticut area where he's still going to get in trouble. And he asked Bill Belichick for a trade. He wanted a fresh start. Maybe Denver's the fresh start. It's fun. I think from a potential standpoint, he beats out the other guys. I love Victor Cruz. I love Golden Tate. I love Sanders. I like Decker and LaFell. But Hernandez was something special.
Yeah.
So we'll try it. We'll see. It's fun.
Yeah. Oh man, we've got some options here. Picking for the Green Bay Packers.
Would you have considered Hernandez here if he was still available?
Yeah.
You would have.
Yeah. Just because like they just need help.
Yeah.
They just
Him and
never.
Michael Finley would have been a pretty athletic.
They just
tight end.
never invest that much into the offense. Now, funny enough, they have.
Yeah, Rodgers would have been thrilled.
Yeah, they've got Greg Jennings in his prime right now, and then they have Donald Driver, who's like 35 at this point. This was kind of his last, not even good year. He had like 500 and some yards, and then he only played 2 more years, the last in which he like barely played and only had like 7
James
years.
Jones and Jordy Nelson are there at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah. That Packers receiving room was ridiculous.
yeah, at one point.
Especially that Packers and Steelers in the Super Bowl. Like, how all those names ended up coming.
Yeah.
Sorry, Naples, didn't mean to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
Brian Balaga's there if you want to stay.
we might go. I think we might go defense here.
McCourty's available.
McCourty's available.
It's a loaded secondary, too.
I mean, Everson Griffin's there.
Tremont Williams, Charles Woodson, Nate Collins.
Yeah, they do. They have some good secondary people.
Mother frickers beat us.
I mean, C.J. Spiller's on the board. Listen, they didn't got a running back.
LeGarrette Blunt in Green Bay would have been a cult hero. He would have been insane.
Sam Bradford's on board, dude.
LeGarrette Blunt doing the
Bradford's
Lambeau
on
leap.
board.
That would have been him and John Kuhn in the backfield.
He was returning kicks his rookie year.
Blunt
LeGarrette
was?
Blunt was, yeah.
Dude, LeGarrette Blunt would have been Eddie Lacy before Eddie Lacy.
LeGarrette Blunt was.
Did I just sell
Naples?
Naples?
LeGarrette Blunt was so good.
Did like LeGarrette Blunt. I think.
Packers were loaded.
Yeah, what did they win it in 2012?
No, 2010. This
Oh,
is
they did win it
so
in
no
2010?
pressure. Don't frick up their pick. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They did win it in 2012. What was their original pick?
Brian Bulaga.
The right tackle.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Do it.
Keep
Bang.
it simple.
Keep the O line good for A-Rod.
Boom.
Man.
I'm saying I was gonna take him.
Oh.
the next pick.
I was like,
It was gonna be my pick for the Cowboys.
Go take Anthony Davis. He's still there.
Did the Cowboys have a pick earlier in this draft? They had to have, right?
No.
Then how did they?
What's
They
their record?
traded
8-8.
some
How did they get Dez?
Dez was a 3rd round pick.
I forgot about that, dude. That's crazy. That's wild.
He was a troubled prospect. Him and
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray were both 3rd round picks.
Yeah.
They drafted
DeMarco Murray was so nice.
He was a 2011 3rd round pick. Yeah.
All right, so looking at the,
They drafted Sean Lee originally with this pick. Didn't they?
was it Sean Lee? No. Oh, No, this
they
was
took
Dez.
Dez.
This was Dez.
Dez was a first
Yes,
rounder?
this was okay. I
My
knew
bad.
I saw Dez's name somewhere, which is why.
So when
yeah,
was
I
Sean
forget.
Lee drafted? Did they have to?
He
for...
was a third round pick. I don't know. Maybe he was second.
Go, keep talking.
Yeah.
I'll
All
look at
right.
it.
So Tony Romo gets hurt this year. So John Kitna plays
So
most
Sam
of
Bradford.
your. No, tomorrow's.
This is kind of a Jerry Jones move. I don't think we can brush Sam Bradford in Oklahoma thrown to the Oklahoma State wide receiver Des Bryant.
Des Bryant's gone. He's not on my roster.
Still,
My
I
wide,
Sam
receiver, my
Bradford.
wide receivers are Miles Austin and Roy Williams.
Listen, Roy Williams was very good for the Detroit
Roy Williams
Lions.
with a Sam Bradford throwing the ball is Dez Bryant.
I think Roy Williams went to Oklahoma.
My leading receiver was Miles Austin with 1,041 yards,
That's
7
good.
touchdowns.
And you have
That's
Jason
solid.
Witten. Don't just
You have
brush.
Jason Witten and Martellus Bennett.
Oh, dude, you're
You're
Sam
Bradford,
Bradford, baby.
Sam.
Your defense is, you could desperately use an edge rusher because if you take out DeMarcus Ware's 15 and a half sacks, dog, Hall of Famer, love DeMarcus Ware.
I have a
You
picture with
have-
Marcus Ware.
1, 6.
With him?
I meant DeMarcus.
You have 10. You have 11 total sacks outside of DeMarcus Ware's 15.
Why do you keep on getting
Between
teams that
everybody.
like can't rush the passer?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like there's your secondary could use work. You have Terrence Newman,
We
who's
could have
30.
Everson Griffin.
Terrence Newman's 32.
Dude,
Mike
Everson
Jenkins,
and Griffin and
25.
Jerry Hughes have almost 200 combined sacks between the two of them.
Look at
Everson
Greg Hardy.
Griffin ended up. Oh no, he went the Cowboys after he went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
You've
Brigham.
got Gerald Sensabaugh and Alan Boss, so you could absolutely use a safety.
So their defense sucks.
their
J.
defense
Ward's there.
sucks.
Devin McCourty's
Was
But
there.
here's the thing.
Was Jason Garrett the head coach at this point?
Probably.
I'm gonna.
Or
I think-
or he was.
He
or
was the
wasn't.
interim head coach pretty close to here,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
It doesn't say here. What
took
they
over
go.
for Wade Phillips.
But here's the thing: your O line is dog water, and hopefully, if you can improve it, then
Cowboys
you
O
can.
line being dog
Maybe
water.
Romo doesn't
Listen
get
to
hurt.
Doug Free, 26 years old, left
He's
tackle.
good.
Kyle Kozier, 32.
He's not.
Andre Garoud, 32. Leonard Davis, 32. Mark Colombo, 32.
He's a Pro Bowler.
They're all 32 years old. From your
Center's a
left
Pro
guard all the way
Bowler.
through your right tackle.
You're getting
they're all
Tyron
30
Smith
plus.
next year.
Great. Then I won't take a tackle. Plus, I was going to take Bulaga, but guess what? He's gone.
We want Bradford.
I'm not taking Bradford.
It's alright. You'll have a chance for Bradford coming up. You know who your next pick is?
No, I don't. I want it to be a surprise.
Okay.
Between Roger Saffold and Everson Griffin would be my two picks.
Everson Griffin. He's too good to still be on the
Here's the
board.
thing. I do think I'm going to add... Yeah, I think adding an edge rusher on the other side is super important, especially because, I mean, in the next couple of years, DeMarcus Ware's gone. He goes to the Broncos.
Denver, yeah.
Devin
He goes to-
McCourty's being disrespected right
He
now.
is,
just
I
gotta
know,
say.
but
Just
I'm going
gotta
to go...
say.
You end up with Everson Griffin anyway. Why not get him for his best seasons?
Yeah, true.
So,
Alright. And you
you
ready
clearly
for
want him.
Yeah? You ready for your who's picking?
Yeah.
Denver's back on the clock.
Ooh.
Ready to pair Bradford
Sam
with
Bradford
Hernandez.
All right. I feel like as much
Sam Bradford.
as much as I've been talking that up, I feel like we kind of have to. We are going to do our due diligence, but I'm glad. I would have been bummed out if you would have gone Bradford there now, but yeah, I feel like Bradford's going to be the pick here because, like I said, I love the wide receiver still available, and I think that they should go. Once again, that's kind of the fun in doing a really good draft class on like a crappy one like 2013 or something. The offensive line. So Zane Beatles was a rookie. He ended up being a multiple-time Pro Bowler. With that said, we're not going there. Tackles, you have Ryan Clady on the left side. Receivers, you got Eddie Royal, got Aaron Hernandez now. Brandon Lloyd. This was the year Brandon Lloyd led the league in receiving yards, just casually. Yeah, we're going. The defense is loaded. You have Ronaldo Hill, Brian Dawkins, and Champ Bailey in the secondary. You still have DJ Williams as a linebacker. The defense is good enough. We're giving Josh McDaniels a quarterback, and like I said earlier with Hernandez, I think it's not even a reach in terms of their style. Sam Bradford's good at the quick stuff. Sam Bradford and Aaron Hernandez, sign me up. We got our quarterback off the board, and I'm glad
So you
because
finally went.
positional value, like he was good enough where he should go, just off of positional
25,
value.
going to the 24 pick drop.
Which I think that's fair. I feel like I
His
think
career didn't turn out the way it did. He made a ton of money in his career, though.
ton of money, pre-CBA rookie contract. Listen, Bradford had some very good stuff. Hey, he was okay in Philly, and then he had an insane season in Minnesota. So
And who knows, if the Rams took better care of him, Like maybe the
The
Broncos
Rams
will.
had no receivers, no offensive help. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Tim Tebow won a playoff game with the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think Sam Bradford has more tools than Tim Tebow does. So it's like you put him there, like, I mean, yeah, you don't get DT anymore because he's gone.
No
but
DT and probably no Eric Decker,
Yeah.
no Zane Beatles.
Yeah.
So
Maybe get Emmanuel Sanders.
maybe we'll see.
He ended up there anyway.
The dogs are talking today.
Yeah. All right, Cardinals.
Why is Derek Anderson the quarterback?
The original pick was Dan
Because
Williams.
he went off with your Cleveland Browns, and the Browns didn't want to keep him. That's why.
Yeah. The Arizona Cardinals selected Dan Williams, a D tackle from Tennessee.
Would Sam Bradford have been the pick here?
Probably.
Go ahead and get Timmy Tebow or Colt McCoy.
No, I think we'll bolster the wide receiver room because outside of Larry Fitz, we've got Steve Breston.
He had a 1,000-yard season.
Not this year. And early Doucet are on the receiver. That's it.
I don't think that's how you pronounce his name, but point taken.
Yeah, I don't even know. But so we'll go ahead. We'll get Victor Cruz here. Get him next to Larry Fitz, and then who takes over after Derek Anderson? Is that when?
That is John Skelton and
Carson Palmer.
Palmer
Let's say
doesn't
this-
go.
is-
Palmer doesn't go till 2014.
Really?
Yeah.
Takes that long? I thought he was like the next year or two.
No,
Honestly, when I thought he was gonna be on this roster until he pulled up the Bengals earlier.
Which once again, but like, and this is the point about quarterback value. Like, think if this was 2011. Like, let's use some of those mid 2011 quarterbacks. Like, Andy Dalton would be a no-brainer pick here. Tyrod Taylor would probably be a no-brainer
Yeah.
pick here. Colin Kaepernick.
Nah.
Guys like that in 2011. So, all right.
Patriots are taking Devin McCourty. It's the original pick. I'm sticking to it. The fact
You
that
sure
he
you
fell
don't
to-
want to back out of this one again?
The fact that he fell to pick 27 is wild.
That's where he
And
went.
You had 3 starting rookies on your defense this year. You have Brandon Spikes, Jermaine Cunningham, and Devin McCourty. And the best of those is Devin McCourty. I'm looking at the sack list again, and it's not good, but it's a system. It's the Patriots system. They had the 27th pick for a reason. I don't remember specifics about the 2010 season, but it was a good one. So, like, they're good. Like,
It was
stick
also
with the
somewhat of
original
a
pick.
different time.
It
Probably
was,
like
yeah.
sack numbers.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, like, give me Devin McCourty, and I'm not even going to think about it.
And we're at pick 28 now.
We are.
All
And
right.
it is the Miami Dolphins took Jared Odrick.
Penn Stater for Eli.
Go get your boy. Go get
D-tackle.
Rashad Jones.
So that's got to be the top priority probably. With that said, I don't think that Rashad Jones is the best secondary guy available. I think that there are guys who had better longevity and better peaks.
Perhaps TJ Ward's pretty good.
Yeah, TJ Ward had a great peak. Ultron Werner and Sam Shields had awesome peaks, and I think Kareem Jackson has the longevity nailed down. We'll see. I want to get some of these wide receivers off the board because I do like Sanders, even though he beefs with the Steelers for some reason. And then Golden Tate's one of my favorite players of all time. In fact, Golden Tate might be one of my jerseys down the line. I could see myself doing a Seahawks Golden Tate. Or,
Not a Lions?
it would be Seahawks or Lions. I feel
Giants?
like there are other definitely not Giants or
Giants,
Eagles.
Golden
No.
Tate.
So looking at their receiving room, the receiving room was kind of loaded. You have Brandon Marshall. You have Brian Hartline. This wasn't Hartline's best year, but he would be getting ready to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. The offensive line, pretty good. You
Shout
got
out to when the Browns brought in Brian Hartline, a receiver.
it just got him back around Ohio for the Ohio State job.
Really?
No,
he left it.
Yeah, Chad Henne had a really bad year. This would have been another Sam Bradford location, so maybe I jumped the ball on that Sam Bradford, but it was a good fit with Denver.
Tim Tebow. Bring him to Miami.
I would be lying if I said I didn't, like, half-jokingly think of it.
Florida kid.
So it comes down to getting one of the receivers off, which they don't need a receiver, but Brandon Marshall's going to get traded probably sooner rather than later.
Not if you decide to keep him as GM.
I'm gonna hope that you guys go and get some of those wide receivers cleaned up. I'm gonna go and get another edge guy who has almost 100 sacks and pair him up with Cameron Wake. I can't, in good faith, give Chad Henne that many weapons because he's not going to do crap with them. Jerry Hughes and Cameron Wake, that defense has some pieces now all of a sudden.
Okay. Nice. All right, and then what do we
I'm
got?
sorry,
The
one more
Jets
time.
next.
What was it in?
Hughes.
Jerry Hughes.
Jerry Hughes, yeah. The Jets.
The Jets.
Oh, I missed the Lions.
Please go receiver, Naples.
We're probably leaning receiver because we've got. We've got Braylon Edwards, Antonio Holmes. We've got some guys.
Braylon Edwards is going to leave in a year.
Jericho Cotry. Okay, we've got some guys. We might not need to address the receiver position.
All right, well, let's see.
We've got a 31-year-old LaDainian Tomlinson. Mark Sanchez, freaking bum.
The Sanchez, dude.
It's his second year.
That's a Sanchez player. Right
Yeah,
there.
but Sanchez is about to take you to the second straight AFC Championship
Yeah, for sure.
before he stabs somebody in Indianapolis.
We've got Antonio Cromartie, Darrell Revis.
Kerry Rhodes is the safety.
No.
No.
They've got Jim Leonard and Brodney Poole at safety, so we might be thinking safety here. They got a 40-year-old Mark Brunell at backup quarterback. Yeah, I mean, with who's left, I like TJ Ward here. Just keep beefing up the defense. The O-line's fine.
Still not going to be enough when they play Pittsburgh in January.
It could.
Those towels are coming out. They're going to make you
TJ
slow.
TJ Ward makes that play.
No.
Oh, mama.
Beautiful mama from the Lord.
Getting blown out.
All right.
Pittsburgh was good back in 2010. I was
Oh,
6.
yeah.
I
I'm talking
remember.
about-
That
Yeah.
2010 team created what you know as the players. Was it the
You had it. You had it.
the player coalition? The
Yikes.
Yeah, you should have just kept it simple.
You didn't land the
You could-
plane. Next
yeah,
pick.
you had it. You had a chance to
Next
just
pick.
aura farm there. And
Lions have the next pick. The original pick here was Javid Best. I'm not going Javid Best.
No running backs off the board yet. This could be the spot. LeGarrette Blunt.
get Golden Tate there.
Here's the thing. Okay, you got at wide receiver. You got Calvin Johnson and Nate Burleson. Okay.
Burleson sucks.
Solid.
Nobody likes him.
Solid guy.
We don't even need to acknowledge.
We like Nate.
Burleson. No, we don't. Trash.
Matt Stafford, Sean Hill played most of the games this year because Matt Stafford only played 3 games because he got injured.
Do not draft Anthony Davis. Draft Golden Tate, please.
Anthony Davis.
No, here's the thing, Kev. You've got
Are you gonna draft
bad.
James Devlin?
You've got a bad.
Morgan Cox, best long snapper of the
Sam
generation.
Shields taking Sammy Shields, baby.
Mm.
Their secondary, their whole defense sucks outside of Sue, which you don't have anymore. So
Yeah, so you're going to have to address that.
But here's the thing: if you can protect Matt
Wait, no,
Stafford, and I'll hold on. If you can protect Matt Stafford's blind side, maybe he doesn't get hurt.
You just said Sam Shields.
You've got Jeff Backus, your 33-year-old left tackle out there.
Dog.
Jeff Backup. That's what I'm calling
Listen,
him.
if
Because
you
that's all he is.
if
is
you
a
have
career
Golden
backup.
Tate, just sort of screen to
But
Golden Tate. He's
did
taking it all
I
away.
not go Ndamukong Suh at the Lions with pick number 2?
Yeah,
Give me-
good point. Yeah.
He said we
Your
don't have
defense
to
is
anymore.
fine.
I literally picked him to the
you
Lions
didn't
at
pick
2.
him. Okay, so you have one defensive player. Sorry.
Yeah.
Who's a rookie.
Get
and
Golden
you have
Tate.
Amari
he's
Spivey.
in his prime when we pick him now.
All right,
That's
so
how the redraft
We're
works.
gonna go with Roger Saffold here, the best tackle.
You want a guard over Golden Tate? That was boring.
Whatever. It is what it is. So I mean,
Emmanuel
you
Sanders
could
and
go
Golden
Alejandro
Tate.
Villanueva, who did play left tackle and had some good
Villanueva.
seasons.
Yeah,
but
that would have been better, but whatever.
yeah, but I wanted the Steelers because I have a
Bro,
Steelers Alejandro Villanueva.
he's waffling.
So,
Yeah.
He's waffling right now.
Well, he started off with Sam Shields and then just never addressed it.
I'm sorry, you can't understand sarcasm
Oh.
in a voice.
That was sarcasm?
Yeah. All
What?
right. So
Well,
And
that's
the Indianapolis
disrespectful to
Colts
Sam
are on the
Shields.
clock.
two more picks. Colts, Saints.
2010 Colts, the last year of Peyton
the first-
Manning.
The Super Bowl loses.
You don't need an edge rusher
What up?
because they have two of the better ones in the game.
It's all right. Greg Hardy and Junior Gillette are not worthy of this pick. All right, running back. Donald Brown was the leading rusher. LeGarrette Blunt, That's pretty intriguing right now, gotta say. Jacob Tammy. Dallas Clark must have been hurt. Jacob Tanny had 67 catches for 630 yards. We're not going to offensive line because that's boring and there's still fun players left.
Yeah.
Could go secondary. You do have Antoine Bethea. Sadly, Erie native Bob Sanders. I think that this was like the first year of his downfall. You have Gerard Power. The defense could use some work other than the edge rushers, but those two edge rushers can kind of carry. I want to give Peyton Manning another weapon because
Bruh.
you look at what Peyton Manning did with weapons, it was killer. And Golden Tate, I like better than Emmanuel Sanders, but we already know Peyton Manning can work with Emmanuel Sanders. We're just going to bring him to Peyton Manning in Indy instead of Denver.
Yeah.
Do you know who's up?
It's me. It's the Saints.
Okay.
And with the last pick in this draft, the Super Bowl winning Saints do not have Jimmy Graham. So we will replace that with Jermaine Gresham.
No, you're freaking a thing.
And we'll go ahead and
No,
make sure we have
are
a
you
tight. We'll make
serious?
sure we have a tight end in this room that can go get that ball for Drew Brees and take home the Lombardi.
Who did you go with the Colts?
You want Emmanuel Sanders. Bringing him back with Peyton. All right, I'm asking, what is the record for most tight ends picked? Because there was 3 the year the Browns got Njoku. It was Njoku, Evan Ingram, and O.J. Howard. What is the record for most tight ends picked in the first round? Should have gone Golden Tate. Golden Tate in a Saints uniform would have been nice.
Jared Bird.
We broke
It's
the
3,
we
yeah.
broke the record.
Really?
Yeah, it's 3. 1978 there was 3. 2002 there was 3.
Love us some tight ends.
And then
2017.
yeah, 2017 that Evan Ingram, O.J. Howard, and David Njoku.
Well, the Browns were a part of 2 of them, and because in 04, wait, never mind. We didn't draft him. I was gonna say Ben Watson was in 04, but
Yeah, Patriots drafted
yeah, we
him.
didn't draft him.
All right, Josie, you want to run through?
I can indeed.
You can
All
make
right.
Naples help you. 32 names is a lot.
You good? All right. So the Rams took Trent Williams with the first overall pick.
Best
Uh,
pick.
Yeah, Lions stuck with Ndamukong Suh. It's the second pick. Buccaneers took 6th round phenom Antonio Brown, best receiver in the draft. Redskins took Marquise Pouncey. Sorry, here you can do it.
Yeah.
He only wanted to say that.
They went
one.
Pouncey. The Chiefs
Yeah.
went Brandon Graham. Get that veteran long-term pass rusher in there. The Seahawks went Robert Gronkowski, which will be a nice pairing for a later pick down the line. The Browns stuck with Joe Hayden. Raiders took Earl Thomas. Bills, JPP. Hope Cannon event, going to stick with that firework hand at some point. Gerald McCoy went to the Jags. Navarro Bowman went to the Niners instead of Anthony Davis in this spot. Chargers get Cam Chancellor paired with Eric Weddle. Eagles taking Jimmy Graham. The Seahawks getting Dez Bryant. Him and Gronk is going to be a crazy tandem. Giants taking Sean Lee. Titans with Demaryius Thomas. Niners getting Ayupati. Steelers, Russell Okung. Falcons, Geno Atkins. Texans, Eric Ferry. Bengals getting Carlos Dunlap. Broncos getting Aaron Hernandez. Packers, Brian Bulaga. Cowboys, Everson Griffin. And then someone to throw Aaron Hernandez the ball, Sam Bradford to the Broncos. No Tim Tebow in the first round. Cardinals getting Victor Cruz. Pats getting Devin McCourty. It's the same exact pick and spot. Dolphins taking Jerry Hughes. Jets with TJ Ward. Roger Saffold to the Lions. Emmanuel Sanders to the Colts. And the Saints getting a different JG at tight end, Jermaine Gresham, to round out the first round.
Yeah, and I like Gresham, but that made me mad. Best player
Who's
is
the blocker? Who's the blocker?
he was like an okay receiver too, but anyways,
Mercedes Lewis-esque.
that's disrespectful to
S.
Mercedes Lewis. Yeah. All right, best players still available if we were to do a round 2. You had some average running backs. LeGarrette Blount and Chris Ivory were definitely the cream of the crop, but C.J. Spiller had a 1,000-yard season mixed in there. You had Ryan Matthews, same thing. He made a Pro Bowl.
I like Ryan Matthews.
The wide receivers, there's still 3 dogs, especially Golden Tate and Eric Decker. They were good for a while. Brandon LaFell also was pretty productive with the Bengals, Pats, and Panthers. You still have 4 offensive linemen, 3 of which are tackles. Anthony Davis, who had some injuries in his career, but probably had the highest peak. Zane Beatles was a Pro Bowl guard. Jared Vellier, who played forever. In fact, he came off the couch a season or 2 ago and was still playing some snaps. Alejandro Villanueva, Army guy. I was gonna say
Army
war.
Ranger.
I was
He's
gonna
a
say
Ranger.
war hero, but I don't
War
know. That.
hero.
Is he? I don't. I feel like I can't just throw
He
around
went
the
through
word
the war
war
of the
hero.
Colin Kaepernick era. So,
Okay.
yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, Alejandro Villanueva.
Tillman.
I don't know if you're a war hero, but you definitely served. Thank you for your
No, he
service.
was an Army Ranger. So, like, I mean,
So
depending on
he saw something.
100%.
Yeah,
I
so,
don't know
alright.
that there's any like
We
awards
can-
or medals, but
We'll
like,
say
he
war
was-
hero then.
If you're an Army Ranger or Navy SEAL, you are a war hero.
Who's gonna cancel us?
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
All 15 of our viewers, I don't think care. Linville Joseph, good nose guard for a long time. You had a couple of talented edge rushers who just could not stay out of trouble. Greg Hardy and Junior Gillette. Speaking of staying out of trouble, we had 2 off-ball linebackers who were very talented, in Rolando McClain and Daryl Washington. Same thing. Really, Rolando McClain, Daryl Washington, and Sean Lee, that's a pretty strong linebacker class
Yeah.
just off of talent. But all 3 of them, whether it was injuries or off the field concerns or both, none of them really panned out. Kareem Jackson, I would say Kareem Jackson and Golden Tate are probably the 2 best available guys just off of longevity. You also had some other talented DBs. Ultron Werner, Sam Shields, those guys were Pro Bowl caliber. Darian Stort made a Pro Bowl. Rashad Jones had a few very strong years with Miami. And then Andrew Sandeo is another one of my fan favorites. Not a Pro
I
Bowl
hate
caliber
him.
player. What? Oh, well, yeah.
Because he's,
sucked on the
terrible.
Browns.
Because he's
He didn't push his
terrible.
way.
Yeah.
I hate him because he's terrible.
Yeah, this was a fun one because the quarterback class sucked.
You forgot a name.
For best available.
Yeah, Riley Cooper.
Honestly, he would go pretty. I would say he would go in round 2.
He was actually a solid wide receiver.
Yeah,
Like, legitimately.
he
Take his off the field stuff out of it.
he's
you know, the
behind
video.
Golden Tate, LaFell, and Decker though. Wouldn't you
Oh,
agree?
yeah.
Okay,
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
but I think if this is a question. So if we were to do a round 2, and not just for namesake, like actually redrafting, does Tim Tebow go in round 2 or round 3 for redrafting?
Probably.
Just taking a flyer on him.
Yeah, there was a few teams that
Right.
definitely needed him, and I think in today's league, like Tim Tebow would like still be a first round pick, just because like think about
Do you
the guy.
think?
Well, because think about the teams that like come up at the end who are like beginning a second who jump into the first to get a guy. Like it happens all the time. Like the Giants did it with Jackson Dart. Like
And that's the thing about the quarterback tax is like there's no such thing as a second round quarterback.
Yeah.
The second round quarterbacks go in the first round, and then because of the tax, anybody that goes in the
And
second
then
round
there's
is
a
really a
4
third
round
Yeah.
drought. Yeah.
Like anybody that goes in the second round as a quarterback is probably a third round talent.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a second round quarterback.
yep.
Better prospect.
Trendon Holiday was also in this draft.
Mm.
He was so electric, but he had tiny little hands and he couldn't hold on to the ball.
He was a great return.
He
man.
was so electric,
Great
dude.
return.
Yeah.
Put the ball in his hands and like hopefully he doesn't get hit and he's going for a touchdown.
Pat McAfee laid him out.
He did. He was like 5'5".
Yeah, 160.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
but he could fly. Man, he was so
Hey,
fast.
maybe the Eagles draft him. Deshaun Jackson was undersized too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
be.
but Deshaun Jackson was a legit wide receiver too. He wasn't just a return guy.
Yeah, well, who knows what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was probably our smoothest redraft. I think that's how we're gonna do it in the future. No more assigned teams. We'll just go one by one by one.
Barry Church was another
I know.
name I saw on that. That's
Oh, really?
interesting.
He's somebody I
solid
definitely
He's
should have been.
undrafted out of Toledo.
Undrafted.
Well,
Bears.
there were some fun ones in the undrafted, so that's where
Mhm.
Chris Ivory and LeGarrette Blunt were.
Oh, yeah,
But
those are
James
lots of names.
Devlin, one of the better fullbacks of this
Uh-huh.
generation, and then Morgan Cox. I said it tongue in cheek, but Morgan Cox is the best long snapper of the last decade. So
I like this name. He's definitely a second round pick, but Marcus Sherrills was undrafted this year. He had a decent.
he was a
had
good
decent
returner
career.
for Minnesota.
Yeah. You said Junior Gillette already. He was undrafted. That's wild.
Well, he went to college at like Stidham.
Stillman. Yeah.
Stillman.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead and wrap up. I was just
No,
looking
yeah.
through the names of undrafted players here.
Good
Logan
episode. We'll see what we can do because we definitely do need to do our live mock draft here sooner rather than later.
Sorry, Mitch Unrein was undrafted this
Who?
year. Mitch Unrein from the Texans. He was the
All right,
D-tackle.
we're reaching now. We're chill out.
Okay.
All right, good episode. Yeah, Josie, come on.
player.
That
Wrap
was
it up,
that was
buddy.
not worthy of interrupting the closing.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Mitch Unrein, what was his highest overall on Madden? Like 75? Shut up. We're not.
We're going Madden now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Why don't
are.
you go ahead through the rosters, Christian?
All right, Krisha, we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Eli,
Love you, Christian.
we'll see you soon too.
Mm.
Best luck on your future endeavors. This has been the Second Short Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Boom.